Good afternoon, students. Welcome to Srimeda IAS Academy. My name is Goutham. I'm a faculty for Political Science and International Relations for Civil Services Minds. I also take classes for Indian Polity Governance and International Relations as a part of Paper 2 in General Studies. Today, we'll have a talk about the recent controversy on Vande Mataram. We all know that there are symbols, icons, slogans, personalities, songs, poems, which inspire people to take up the path of a movement or a revolution. Or sometimes these very symbols, they forge people into togetherness, creating a nation. It is in this context that we'll first try and understand the idea of nation. A nation is described as a group of people who share a sense of belonging to each other, people who feel related to each other. And this sense of belonging to each other is either because of common culture, or common language, or common religion, or common inhabitants over a piece of territory, or a common suffering, or even because of a common economic advantage. Whatever is the factor, whatever is the driving force, if it builds a relationship among people, if it breeds a sense of belongingness among people, we call that group of people as a nation. And the psychological feeling which binds them into togetherness is called as nationalism. Nationalism in modern times had emerged as a very powerful force in uniting people, in strengthening people's loyalties and allegiance, in making people realize common benefits through struggles, through revolutions, through national liberation movements, and so forth. What we have seen in modern times was that a lot of such nations have carefully built symbols which help them integrate it, which help them build a bond among themselves. In India, we also had seen the rise of nationalism in the modern times. The rise of Indian nationalism was occasioned by the British rule, as a good number of historians believe that nationalism as a trend had been a worldwide experience. Colonial rule or the British rule was just occasioned, but it's probably not the sole driving force for the birth of Indian nationalism. The birth of Indian nationalism was a part of a worldwide movement. People in various parts of the world began to develop a sense of belonging to each other. They welded themselves into nations. In India also, we had seen the rise of nationalism in the modern time in the initial years of the 20th century. A series of factors have contributed to the growth of Indian nationalism, including British rule. British rule helped politically integrate the country, physically connect the country through railways. British rule also helped the Indian nationalism by introducing English as a lingua franca. Apart from all this, repressive measures undertaken by Governor Generals like Lord Lytton also contributed to a very great extent the rise of Indian nationalism. But one factor stands out which contributed immensely to the rise of Indian nationalism, and that was the song of Vande Mataram. So much so that Vande Mataram became the slogan of Indian freedom struggle itself. Mother India, my salutations was the slogan of Indian freedom movement. What's the story behind Vande Mataram? And why is it that this song, which had forged this community into a nation and which had imparted so much of inspiration, zest, and so much of spirit to challenge the world's mightiest empire, the British Empire, a song which symbolized people's sacrifice, as lot of Indian freedom fighters have martyred with Vande Mataram on their lips, the song which was so iconic, which welded us into a nation. Why is it that it's subjected to so much of controversy in recent times? We'll look at the whole story of Vande Mataram in a few minutes from now. The recent controversy, to begin with, about Vande Mataram was primarily because of the discussion that happened in Indian Parliament. 10 hours of discussion in Lok Sabha and 10 hours of discussion time allotted in Rajya Sabha had brought the song of Vande Mataram to the limelight. It was during this discussion that several comments were made by the political leadership in India, where it was declared that Vande Mataram, that was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, was adopted by the Congress leadership by truncating the song. It was declared that Vande Mataram, the song which was later incorporated into Anandamath, a novel written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, actually contained 8 stanzas, while only the first 2 stanzas of Vande Mataram were retained by Indian National Congress, were adopted by Indian National Congress, while the last 6 stanzas, which had references to Hindu symbolism were dropped. And this was according to the Indian political leadership because of the necessity felt by the Indian National Congress leaders to placate or to appease the Muslim community in this country. So as a part of the appeasement policy of Indian National Congress towards Muslims, the 6 stanzas which contained Hindu references were dropped. This, according to the Indian political leadership in recent times, was a policy which ultimately not only truncated the song of Vande Mataram, but it also partitioned the country into India and Pakistan. The appeasement policy emboldened the Muslim community, which made them demand for a separate homeland for Muslims, and therefore it led to partition of India into India and Pakistan. Now, this was a very, very strong remark made by the political leadership in India in recent times, which raised a furore, because this remark was pointing fingers at the political leadership of India at the time of Indian independence. The song Vande Mataram was originally written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in 1875, and therefore 2025 represents the 150th anniversary of the song Vande Mataram. But when this song was originally written, it contained only 2 stanzas. The first 2 stanzas, which had given reference to the scenic beauty, the glory of Indian past, the traditions, and all the things which were unique and great about India. Therefore, the first 2 stanzas was more about India and India's glorious past. Later, the song Vande Mataram was expanded by introducing 6 more stanzas when this song was incorporated into a novel written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee called Anandamath. The new 6 stanzas contained Hindu references, Hindu symbolism, the struggle of Hindu monks who waged a war against the Muslim rulers. All these were part of the content in the next 6 stanzas. The present controversy was primarily because of the accusation laid against the Indian leadership at that time that the 6 stanzas were removed from this song when it was adopted by Indian National Congress and when it was made the Indian national song later in 1950, primarily to appease the Muslim community. Now, this was the criticism leveled against the leadership, the political leadership of India at the time of Indian independence. The point, however, is the expansion of Vande Mataram with 6 new additional stanzas contained Hindu references and Hindu symbolism, primarily because the entire plot of the book, Anandamath, was about the Sannyasi rebellion that took place in 1976-77. The Sannyasi rebellion was a rebellion of Hindu monks against Muslim rulers. And that's the reason why several Hindu symbols like Durga Mata were invoked. Hindu chants were present in the 6 stanzas. And it is this fact which was found to be slightly unacceptable for the Muslim communities. And according to the political leadership, it is this fact which compelled the Indian National Congress to remove the 6 stanzas, primarily not to hurt the Muslim sentiments, and is a part of their policy of appeasement or placation of Muslims. Now, this was the allegation level, and that's the reason why Vande Mataram had become controversial in recent times. Now, what is it that historians have got to say? Firstly, the song, according to historians, which was originally composed in 1875, had in fact only 2 stanzas. Later, the number of stanzas was expanded by addition of 6 more stanzas in 1882, when the song was incorporated or introduced into the novel called Anandamath. The original 2 stanzas celebrated the motherland called India, while the next 6 stanzas, according to historians also, contained several Hindu symbols and Hindu references and Hindu recitations also, and invoking of Hindu gods like Durga Mata. Now, this was primarily because Anandamath, a novel, had as its plot Sannyasi rebellion, as I told you, that had taken place in 1776-77. And this Sannyasi rebellion was a rebellion of Hindu monks against Muslim rulers. And that's the reason why such Hindu chants were used. The song, therefore, was primarily not to invoke Hindu fundamentalism or Hindu nationalism. The incorporation of the 6 additional stanzas was primarily a representation of the Hindu sannyasi rebellion against the Muslim rule. So when that is cleared in the first step, now later at the time of the Indian freedom struggle in the initial years of the 20th century, Vande Mataram became a battle cry for Indian liberation movement. In fact, the Swadeshi movement that took place in 1905-6 had the slogan of Vande Mataram. And this very slogan continued to inspire Indian national freedom struggle till 1947, till India had secured its independence. Therefore, the song Vande Mataram almost became synonymous with national liberation struggle for independence. It began to inspire nationalists. It became a battle cry. It invoked sense of self-confidence among Indians about their glorious past. It infused Indians with pride and gave them the energy to struggle against the oppressive colonial rule. However, there were a good number of other historians as well who considered that while Vande Mataram on the one hand was an important factor for unification of India, it also divided the Indian society. How? Now, it was alleged by a good number of historians that the Muslim community began to feel several symbolisms used in this song were idol trusts, which had indications of idol worship, which is actually anti-Islamic. And therefore, Muslims started to feel alienated because it was not in accordance with their faith. Secondly, several historians also present an evidence that the slogan Vande Mataram was sometimes used to incite irk the Muslim community, just as it was also alleged that Allahu Akbar was used sometimes to irk and incite the Hindu community. Therefore, Vande Mataram as a symbol did not have the equal appeal among the Muslim community as it had among the Hindu community. Now, keeping this in mind, while within the Indian National Congress also there was a discussion or a debate about how and in what way Vande Mataram should be adopted, because notwithstanding the differences of opinion among the Indian society about Vande Mataram, our political leadership was very clear about one thing, that is the iconic, inspirational and the symbolic value that Vande Mataram had for fostering Indian nationalism, for forging Indian nationalism. And therefore, in 1937, the Indian political leadership, that is Indian National Congress, represented by Indian National Congress, adopted Vande Mataram. However, only the first 2 stanzas of the song were adopted by Indian National Congress. The Indian political leadership was also divided on this issue. For instance, Subhash Chandra Bose supported the viewpoint that all the stanzas of the song should be adopted for preserving the literary value and the literary splendor of this song. However, there were others like Rabindranath Tagore, who had actually recited the song, who believed that only the first 2 stanzas, which appear secular, which primarily indicate at India's glorious past, tradition, culture and scenic beauty, only they should be adopted and the rest should be left, because the rest has the potential of driving a wedge between Indian communities. Later, in 1950, Vande Mataram, with its first 2 stanzas only, were adopted as Indian national song. It is this factor which made a good number of politicians believe that the adoption of only the first 2 stanzas is primarily for placating Muslims, is only for appeasing Muslims, is only for addressing Muslim sentiments. And for that, the political leadership in India had compromised on the Hindu sentiments. It had eliminated an important part of the song. This, according to some political circles in India, is not acceptable. They propose that the song should be adopted in full, notwithstanding the Hindu references it has and symbolism it has. The song should be adopted in its full text without any removals. However, a good number of historians conclude that whatever were the deletions made in the song was only to promote national unity and to make the national song acceptable to all sections of Indian society, rather than to appease the Muslim community. Now, this is the stand taken by the majority of historians, notwithstanding the debate and the controversy related to the song Vande Mataram. According to Jawaharlal Nehru, a national song or a national anthem with so much of value, appeal, with so much of a role, and with so much of excellence, the sentiments and feelings it invokes still requires to be accepted by the majority of people. Notwithstanding all the things that the national song has, it still requires the acceptance by the people of the country to be eligible as a national song or national anthem for the people. If a particular song or if a particular part of a song has potential to drive a wedge or to divide a community, it would be nothing wrong in removing those parts and adopting or accepting only that part of the song which has appeal universally in that society. Because the purpose of the song was to unite. The purpose of the song was to forge a nation. The purpose of the song was to propel a community to overthrow a powerful colonial empire and realize its national liberation. That was the purpose for which Vande Mataram was adopted. Politicization of national symbols or national songs and other icons of historical importance is not going to augur well for any society. Those values, those symbols, those inspirations, and those icons which have guided our past will continue to guide us in the future, remaining as our inspiration, remaining as our identity. We require to honor them, preserve them, and value them. Thank you so much.